I have been having some interesting recurring dreams lately, and I wanted to talk a bit about those. But before we get started, first of all, apologies once again for not being on Facecam. I'm thankfully starting to feel a little bit better this week, so hopefully those videos will resume soon. Secondly, we're going to discuss astral projection in this video, so I want to give a brief summary of what I think astral projection is for anyone that's new to the channel and doesn't know my views on it. Many people believe that astral projection is just a type of lucid dream. I do not agree with that opinion. My experiences with it have been vastly different from my experiences with lucid dreaming. And while my number of lucid dreams is in the quadruple digits, my number of times successfully astral projecting is a little over a handful. I'm not a big fan of the name astral projection. I tend to prefer to call it an out-of-body experience, but I use astral projection because it's the most common term used. Like a dream or a lucid dream, I believe it's an internal experience that we're having where we're hallucinating certain things in the same way that you do when you're in a dream. I actually think it's more akin to a hallucinatory experience that occurs in sleep paralysis to an actual dream itself. At least anecdotally, I can say that I've only ever successfully been able to astral project from sleep paralysis, whereas with lucid dreams that is not at all required. These experiences also have some interesting different characteristics to dreams. For example, scenery around you seems to remain stable. You can leave a room, come back and look at a bit of text, and that bit of text will be the same as it was before. I also don't typically have the experience of being a body when I'm astral projecting. I feel like I am a sort of sphere of sorts that can see in all directions. Perhaps the most important thing to establish is that while it's called an out-of-body experience, I think it is just that, an experience. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that I was actually leaving my body in any shape or form. But I think it is a characteristically different experience from a dream. If there's anything that I've forgotten to clarify, or if you have any more questions about what I think the differences between astral projection and lucid dreaming are, then feel free to ask in the comments. But one of the reasons that I took the time to clarify this just now is because I believe it is not only possible, but very, very common to attempt to astral project, but end up dreaming that you astral projected instead, but not actually having an astral projection or out-of-body experience. I have attempted to astral project countless times, probably hundreds by now, and I've succeeded less than 10 times. But during that time, I induced many lucid dreams, many of which are the kind of dreams that I think could be responsible for people thinking that astral projection and lucid dreaming are the same exact thing. It is very common when attempting to do it to have a dream about floating up and leaving your body. Had I not had experiences that I've classified as astral projection that were clearly very different from dreams, I would have had one of these experiences, thought, hey, this is what astral projection is, and then come to the conclusion that astral projection is just a lucid dream. It's only because I've had those experiences and can easily recognise the difference between the two that I'm able to recognise these astral projection dreams as just that, astral projection dreams, that aren't actually a full-blown out-of-body experience. And that is the subject of today's video, because I have been having a lot of those recently. Some of you may have watched my videos where I've talked about the fact that I've recently started an SSRI antidepressant. And since I've started that, I've been having lots of very vivid, very crazy dreams, including lots of lucid dreams, even though I've taken a break from practicing all techniques. But another thing I've been having a lot of is sleep paralysis. And because I've been having a lot of sleep paralysis, I've been taking that as an opportunity to try once again to have some out-of-body experiences. What I typically do is the rope technique, where I will imagine myself climbing a rope up out of my body, and I will essentially imagine the physical sensation of my body rising as I climb. It's through that imagination of the sensation of movement that I've had success in the past with out-of-body experiences. But something I've observed is that the speed of the motion seems to be critical to this process. If I start to imagine myself moving too quickly, what often happens is I just start spiraling in this movement really quickly, and then very rapidly a dream forms. I instead have to be patient and take it slowly and keep doing that until I start to feel this vibrating sensation and hear this high-pitched whirring sound, similar to what many people, including myself, heard with DMT. I then have to continue the movements, very slow and methodical, until I am having a full-blown out-of-body experience. Now the trouble with doing that is that sleep paralysis can get very uncomfortable, especially when you're right at the edge of that vibrational stage. You will start to have all sorts of physical hallucinations, like something sitting on your chest, or something brushing against your neck, or something rubbing against your face. As an example of a recent one that I had, I've always been arachnophobic, and I could feel hundreds and hundreds of spiders just running all over my face, and somehow I knew there were spiders. So as you can imagine, I didn't really want to sit there and just persist with this slow process of climbing the rope, so I started to imagine the movement getting quicker and quicker and quicker to try and speed up the process. And what happened when I did that was I then had one of these dreams of floating up above my bed. Something that I think is very characteristic of these pseudo-astral projections, these dreams of astral projecting, is that I don't have the same conscious level of awareness that I have when I'm awake. That's something that I've noticed that I do have with out-of-body experiences. And what I keep seeing is I will float up and I'll be above a room, and it's not my room, it looks nothing like my room, it looks like some fancy room in a mansion or something like that. And in the moment I'll think, wow, that's my room, I'm looking at my room. And it isn't until I wake up afterwards that I recognise the fact that no, that wasn't my room at all and it looked nothing like it whatsoever. Or similarly, I'll float out the window and start floating down the street and I'll think, wow, that looks just like my street. And then I'll wake up and think back on the images that I saw and think, wait, that looks nothing like my street. Hell, it doesn't even look like the same country that I'm in. But in these dreams, you're subject to that dream mind, that sort of reduced form of thinking that is the same reason that lucid dreams can be initially difficult to achieve, because we don't recognise the fantastical elements of our dreams. This is a striking difference from those out-of-body experiences that I've had. In those, it felt like I had my full mental capacity, as if I was completely awake. Some of you will probably have had lucid dreams that have felt close to that, but usually what you'll find is that when you wake up afterwards and think about the dream, you realise that your thought in the dream was kind of limited to this sort of one-dimensional level. This makes me wonder about the states that we're in during these experiences, because REM, where our dreams happen, is already one of the most alert states of sleep. But I wonder if there is perhaps a more alert state that can be reached during these heightened moments during these out-of-body experiences. Or if there is some other reason why during them I felt like my cognitive capacities were fully intact. So I'm curious, have any of you had a sort of pseudo-astral projection experience where you've attempted to have an out-of-body experience, an astral projection experience, and you've had a dream about leaving your body? I'm also curious if anyone like me has had both of these types of experiences. In other words, an experience that they would actually classify as an out-of-body experience, and distinctly different from a dream, as well as one of these dreams of astral projecting or leaving your body. Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this one, make sure you subscribe and enable all notifications to stay up to date when my new videos come out. And if you want to keep watching, check out one of those videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care and have some awesome lucid dreams, and perhaps some awesome out-of-body experiences too.